The Flatten Holds curve filter here can be used to help flatten out areas of your animation that are supposed to represent hold keyframes. For instance, here we see the camera animation that we also saw in the quick clean example, and we see how we get this drift between hold keyframes due to the TCB interpolation or the Bezier interpolation handles not having been set. What we also see slightly differently in this example, though, is that I've somewhat ham-fistedly keyed my holds. Perhaps I've nudged things slightly by accident or what have you. And we can see that whereas frames 30 and 40 should be in the same position, I've got them nudging by just about 60 millimeters there, a small amount. Really, they should be solid and flat. So let's invoke the Flatten Holds key filter, and you'll see that we get a threshold value for it. Let's start out as it is with a threshold of 0.0001 here, very, very small value. We click OK, and what we can see is that areas where the hold was perfect, such as up here, where we had the Bezier handles, the two keyframe values were the same, and they have flattened because the difference in value between them was within the threshold. In other areas, like here between frames 30 and 40, which were outside of the threshold, they have not been flattened, and we actually see the same thing back here between frames 10, 15 and 20 there. My frame 15 is also jumped out of position ever so slightly. We can reset that, that puts us back to normal. Let's try Flatten Holds again, and here I'm going to try it with a threshold of 0.1, which here on a position channel is equivalent to 100 millimeters. Now we can see that because these key values here are within the threshold of one another, they have been flattened out. The same being true here on this little block of keyframes. But if we zoom in on the graph, we can see that the Flatten Holds filter has done something else as well, and that is to actually snap the keys to the same points. This mid key was just down here, it was further down. Flatten Holds has moved that up so as the values are now equal. Again, the same over here. We can see that that key was 60 millimeters higher up. Zoom in even closer there to see that. This is where the key point was. The Flatten Holds filter has brought that value back down to match the incoming key. So if we apply that, we can see that our curve is nicely flattened off there, and these little shifts that we might have accidentally created between those points have been dealt with as well, because the shifts fell within the threshold that we set.